Thanks to Blade HQ for making today's knife review awesomer.
You know, if you swap that and move that up, and move the pocket clip up here, you've got a tip up fail. You just got too much sticking out of your pocket. And yeah, for that reason alone, these knives, I'm perfectly happy carrying tip down, and will continue to do so. Hello my friends, Late Boy Scout here with my review of the Kershaw Skyline, and you're looking at a rare version of this knife. Yes, it came this way from the factory. We've got Coyote Brown G10 handle scales and a nice DLC coated black blade. Isn't that gorgeous? We've also got the standard black and silver version of the blade, which I've beaten up and used quite a bit. And we'll feature this one a little bit during the review, but we'll probably focus the majority of our attention on this rare one, just to kind of make things a little more interesting for the review, right? Of course, this is going to be a review of the knife in general, not just this version of the knife, which is a great knife, by the way, for everyday carry. For tactical use, I don't know. You know, this is kind of a tactical looking version of the knife, and I suppose if you wanted to employ this in some sort of tactical role, okay, you know, I don't see a problem. It does feel a little small, but maybe that suits your purpose. If it does, awesome. Let's talk about this knife and why it's so popular. And it really is. It's an extremely popular knife from Kershaw. They've done very, very well with this. Sold probably, I have no idea how many actually. I was going to say millions, but that's probably far off. Or maybe that's true. Who knows? They've sold a lot of Kershaw Skylines. It's a very, very popular knife. So what made it so popular? Why is it such a successful design? Well, there's a number of reasons is what I should say. Well, one of them is the weight. At like 2.3 ounces, that's pretty amazing for an everyday carry knife of this size. And the blade length is over 3 inches, 3 1/8 inch. That's pretty awesome. You know, 3 1/8 inch blade for 2.3 ounces. And oh, by the way, made in the USA. I don't know if we've got that mentioned on here. Yes, we do. Made in the USA, the Kershaw Skyline. So you can feel very proud that you bought a USA-made product here. Made with 14 C28N Sandvik steel, a steel that I've had some very good experience with, as I've carried and used the Kershaw Leek. Yeah, I love the Leek. It's a great-looking knife, too. And I got some excellent versions of this. One or two. And also, of course, on this version of the Skyline have used that steel. And again, like I said, I found it to be a very durable, very usable, very serviceable steel. It's excellent. Holds a good edge, takes a great edge. I really like it so far. So nothing to complain about as far as that steel is concerned. Really nothing to complain about regarding the blade shape either. It's got that drop point, almost spear point look to it. Not quite spear point, but very spear point-ish, and a nice belly and good little tip there. But it's got a stout tip as well, somewhat stout compared to, you know, blades like, let's bring it back to the Leek, almost a needle point tip on the Leek, which is good for certain purposes, but it's also a little delicate, right? You don't really have that sort of delicateness when you're talking about the Skyline. As I said, it's a little bit more stout. A little bit more durable. Can you still break the tip off? Of course you can if you abuse it, but it's going to hold up to a little bit more. And the design overall, it's a great looking knife, but it's got some distinctive design to it. I've always felt that it had an Art Deco look to it. If you don't know what Art Deco is, Google it. You know, look in the Google images and find some examples of Art Deco, and that's not a bad thing. I think it's a great looking knife. And also, ergonomically, I did not anticipate, having seen this knife before, I did not anticipate that it would feel as good in hand as it does. That choil, I think, is the main reason why. It's home right there. Your finger finds it, and it just feels like home. You know, it can't go forward, it can't go back. You're locked into that thing, and you can do whatever you need to very easily with a lot of just kind of nimble and quickness, and it just feels great. And I, kind of felt like this was going to be a little sharp and uncomfortable, but not remotely. All my 3 fingers fit around that and feel just great in hand. So everything about it ergonomically is very well done. It's a very well made knife, nice rounded corners, obviously. We've got a liner on one side, not on the other, which is part of why it's so lightweight. We've got just a lot of G10 construction going on. You know, they only used a liner where they needed to. And that's not too far off from what Kershaw has started doing in knives like the Piston. The Piston is also a great knife, very well designed. Doesn't really stack up to the Skyline. It's a bigger knife, much bigger. It's also very lightweight, though, because of what they've done. You know, it's all G10 on this side, pretty much all G10 on the other side, where they've got an inset liner, a new sort of design that people are using nowadays that I think is going to work out very, very well. But back to the knife on the table, which is the Skyline. Let's switch it up, by the way. Back to the Skyline. You know, they've accomplished that as well. You know, G10, a little bit of G10 on this side, and the liner on that side, making it as light as they can make it, but still as useful as it ever needed to be. And a nice little backspacer here, probably Zytel or something like that, and that's perfectly fine. Okay, and then we also got, looks like bronze bushings in there at the pivot point, and that's perfectly fine too. I don't see a problem with that. Instead, in lieu of a stop pin, we actually have the thumb studs creating the stop mechanism for the blade. That is to say, going backward, whereas the liner lock sort of stops it forward. So that's an interesting construction, and that's actually used also on the Leek. The Leek, instead, in lieu of a stop pin, uses the thumb studs to stop it against that, both the, well, in this case, the frame. In other versions of the Leek, that would be the handle scale / liners. So, you know, it's an interesting design, and it's well executed, and I just don't see a problem with it, creating that sort of locking mechanism. Following the same locking philosophy, we can also talk about something by Zero Tolerance, also a Ken Onion designed. Well, these are not Ken Onion designed, but Kershaw's Zero Tolerance is, you know, related to Kershaw. You know, same sort of locking mechanism here, where that thumb stud becomes the stopper to keep the blade from traveling backwards. Okay? So certainly a proven design, certainly a durable design. Nothing, you know, no problems with that from the Kershaw Skyline. None whatsoever. That's going to be just fine. Certainly you can take this knife apart if you choose to, with the pivot screw and these ones here all being screws, not pins. So that's a good thing. Repositioning the pocket clip you can also do. You can move it from here to there if you choose to. I don't recommend you do it. I say just carry this doggone thing tip down, baby. Yeah, this one's a little stiff, sorry. There we go. Just carry this thing tip down. It carries so much better that way. You've got about that much sticking out of your pocket. Not a problem. Not a problem at all. But when you swap that, you bring it over here, you're going to have around that much sticking out of your pocket. Now, that's uncomfortable. And so we kind of got, you know, sort of a tip-up fail happening here. Same goes with the Ken Onion designed Kershaw Leek. Same issue there. You know, if you swap that and move that up, and move the pocket clip up here, you've got a tip-up fail. You've just got too much sticking out of your pocket. And yeah, for that reason alone, these knives, I'm perfectly happy carrying tip down, and will continue to do so. But the Kershaw Skyline, excellent, excellent knife. Good ergonomics, good lockup, beautiful knife all around, and not too bad of a price at $45-ish for this one, brand new. eBay and other places you can find them used for less. And this particular version, good luck finding it either on eBay or somewhere else. But it's pretty sweet, isn't it? Let's compare these knives now to some other everyday carry offerings that I think the Skyline competes against. Like what? How about the CRKT Ripple? It's an excellent knife, and it's right around the same size. Kind of same price range, not really. This is the Walmart version, which came at around $30 or less. Depending on which version of the Ripple you buy, you could spend $60 or more. All right, so, you know, good knives, definitely good knives, but different prices. And that's going to be the case with everything I show you right now. There's the K-Bar Dozier coming in at around $20, AUS 8 steel, Zytel handles, extremely lightweight, very good knife. Here's the $80 to $90 Benchmade mini-griptillian, also a great knife, 154 cm steel. I can't remember what they call these handles, but they hold up really well, and very lightweight, very compact, excellent EDC knife. The Spyderco Persistence, also a great knife, 8CR13 MOV, G10 scales. Very good liner lock knife, made in China, so keep that in mind. And let's go with one more. How about the Spyderco Endura 4? Also excellent, very close in, all these knives are very close in their EDC ability. That's not really a word, that, even though I just made it up. Their ability to be carried. You know, they're very convenient for carry. Lightweight, small, feel great in pocket, feel great in hand, good utility, not too bad of a price on any of these knives. All great choices, all great choices. But I think this Kershaw Skyline stacks up very well against any one of them. And if you were to make this your only knife, I couldn't blame you. Well, that's my review, guys, of the Kershaw Skyline. I sure appreciate you tuning in. And please tune in for many more by subscribing. I'm the Late Boy Scout, and we'll see you later.